There's a difficult balancing act that has to be done when it comes to good storytelling. On the one hand, including things beyond the essential can cause the story to drift, be confusing, lack focus, or just become boring. On the other, opportunities arise that can offer a breadth of new and unique experiences that would improve mood or characterization, or to complement and deepen the overall narrative. The 6 episodes that form the Season 6 story arc could have been reduced to 3 easily if it was more focused. But to do so would have been a colossal mistake, one part of which I'll cover in a later part of the arc, and the other right now, and to the point, we would have lost out on Rox and Shoals. I hope to make it clear how tragic that would have been over the course of this review. The stolen Jem'hadar ship is still damaged, and even as the Chief is making repairs, 2 more Dominion ships show up.
Reroute the damn gyrodyne through the damn thruster array.
Got it.
They are in no condition for a fight, so they break for a dark matter nebula, and Dax is injured along the way. The 2 Jem'hadar ships break off their pursuit once they're inside, but soon everything is out of control. Except this time, it's not the damn this or the damn that, it's just the damn planet that's right in front of them. It looks like the reason the Jem'hadar hadn't pursued was that the nebula was a known hazard, as we discover a group of Jem'hadar who had crashed on the surface 2 days earlier in an unrelated incident. And not too far from where our hero's ship went down, too. It is admittedly a bit of a contrivance. It would have made a bit more sense if the ship had been one of the pursuing ones. But coincidences could happen, so we'll let it slide and move on. This Jem'hadar, played by Phil Morris from Voyager's One Small Step, is the 3rd, the 1st and 2nd having died already. Still, he's not getting promoted to 1st, even under these conditions, because he dared to question the Vorta's decision, specifically, the decision that caused him to crash on this planet. Doing the right thing is less important than doing what you're told, as anyone who's ever worked in an office will tell you. In his man cave, the Vorta, Kevin, wants to know about trying to make contact with someone, but it'll be about 10 days to fix the communication thing. But after that, they'll be able to, which is great, as long as we have enough Ketracel White. Oh, shit. Is something wrong? No, nothing. Well, why would anything be wrong? It just sounded like you were saying, oh, shit. What? No, I was saying, oh, shiver me timbers, there be white here. I thought it might be Pirate Day today. I didn't want to miss it. Okay, here's one. I'll save the oh so many that I've got in here just to make sure it'll last. Just to be on the safe side. Can't we have a little more, sir? Look, we've only got so much to go around. What do you think? A cargo hold full of stuff is just going to fall out of the sky? Meanwhile... Well, Captain, they say any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Shut up, Chief. Just shut up. Yeah, sorry. Oh, it's sinking fast, huh? Bet it's the weight of all that Ketracel White cases we beamed up from the depot. Oh, not like anyone here's going to need it, though, so no tragedy there. Not compared to what's happened to my pants here. Take a look at that. They hold up in a cave where Dax seems to be doing a little bit better, but isn't going anywhere. If you're wondering why this happened, the reason is actually very simple. Terry Farrell's skin can't withstand direct sunlight for very long, so this episode, which is being shot on location in a quarry, requires her to be written out of the action of the episode so she won't crumple into dust or whatever happens. Over on Deep Space Nine, Kira awakens to another day under the despotic rule of the evil, heartless Dominion. Gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face. I can't put my finger on it, but something's wrong with this picture. We next see her in Odo's office, the 2 giving an interview to Jake. They probably assumed this was going to be a bunch of softball questions, but if his father isn't safe, well, these 2 should have known better.
Odo, do you have any concerns that by joining the ruling council here on the station, you're validating the occupation?
I tell them to move along, or they'll wind up in a holding cell on a first-degree charge of pissing me off. Don't misunderstand, I do like Odo, it's just... he's kind of a fascist sometimes. Here he and Kira talk about doing something to stop the public demonstration one of the Vedics has planned, because it could lead to a crackdown. But then we have episodes like Bar Association, where he wanted to stop the union protests against Quark's bar, but Sisko told him to leave it be. Or even worse, in Image in the Sand, where there's a group of Pa-Wraith cultists that were peacefully gathered on the promenade. He offered to charge them all with loitering and throw them off the station just because the sight of them was bothering his girlfriend. The link between this attitude of his and the attitude of the Founders will be important throughout the rest of the arc. Back on the planet, Garrick and Nog have been tasked with locating fresh water and plants, but what we get is another bit of continuity that shows exactly what was missing over on Voyager. Nog is deliberately staying behind Garrick at all times, never letting him get behind Nog's back. Garrick finally confronts him over this, and Nog admits that it's because of Empok Nor. Garrick was under the control of a kind of narcotic and tied up Nog and threatened to kill him. Even though it was extenuating circumstances and the two are allies for the moment, Nog doesn't trust Garrick enough to turn his back on him. And Garrick is actually quite pleased with that. The whole bit only takes a couple of minutes, actually leads into a driving point of the episode, references previous events without requiring you to know that they happened to understand it, and shows that the relationships in this show can be complicated. I don't mention Voyager to pick on it, just saying that it shows the similar opportunities that they had there with the Maquis that could have been utilized and weren't. The Jem'hadar manage to ambush the pair and take them back to the Vorta. Garrick tries to talk their way out, but Keevan sees through it, and anyway, all he's really interested in is whether or not they have a doctor. He sends his men to go check the Starfleet forces out, but to not engage them. That's important. Well, you've got to remember that he just sent guys who are currently facing shortages of a drug whose withdrawal symptoms are crazed violence. He's sending them against their enemy, and then ordering them not to fight them. Well, surprise, surprise, a fight breaks out. The third reins his men in eventually, and they retreat without killing anyone, thankfully. And Keevan's naturally pretty peeved, but the third refuses to divulge the name of the man who started it, because the order of things requires that the Vorta discipline the unit leader, and the unit leader disciplines the men. Keevan relents, and instead sends them to go see Sisko. Damn, that's harsh punishment. Back on the station, Kira meets with the Vedic to try to talk her out of the protest, but the questions are then asked. If not a protest, what can they do to oppose the Dominion? And what is Kira doing to oppose them? Kira insists that this isn't the same as when the Cardassians invaded, and that stirring up trouble will only make things worse for the Bajorans. But the Vedic won't take no for an answer, so she's decided to go ahead with it. Oh, fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Evil must be opposed.
Okay, that was bad, but at least it wasn't self-immolation, right? You can never get the smell of burnt priest out of your clothes. Back in the Sisko cave, the third arrives alone and unarmed to offer a deal. Sisko and Bashir go to their camp, and Garrick and Nog will be released. It certainly looks like trying to trade two low-ranking prisoners for two valuable ones, so naturally Sisko's suspicious.
Would you make a deal like that? No. Then why should I? You shouldn't.
Really wish I ran into more car salesmen like this guy. Let me show you what we've got. Crap, but it's in your price range. So if you put some transmission cleaner in it, you won't feel like you've just taken it from Ron Jeremy. Sisko spends some time trying to build some resentment towards the Vorta, but even a swift blow of continuity isn't enough to make a dent in the Third's loyalty. With his assurance that Bashir and Sisko will be freed after they meet with Keevan, Sisko agrees to the meeting. Bashir patches Keevan up, but after he dismisses the Jem'hadar, he reveals that this really isn't Pirate Day, but that there is only one vial of Ketracel White left, and after it's gone, the Jem'hadar will completely lose it. But Keevan has a backup plan. He's going to order his men to attack the Starfleet forces, and then tell Sisko exactly the path that they will take. Either Sisko lets them kill his people, or he kills the Jem'hadar and takes Keevan prisoner, along with his broken comm system.
I'm willing to bet that you've brought one of those famed Starfleet engineers who can turn rocks into replicators.
The thread that ties this whole episode together is duty in the face of adversity. Keevan's duty is to his men. As he said earlier, it is his job to watch over them. Yet he is choosing to betray them to save his own skin. Sisko's duty is also to his troops, and so he will do the unpleasant thing and prepare the ambush, even though most of said troops believe it's against the rules of war. Kira's duty is to her people, despite how comfortable her situation has become. She's fairly glum after what's happened to the Vedic. You're still not going to forgive me for snickering at that Pope on a rope joke, are you? Kira believes she's become a collaborator, that others are suffering and dying, fighting for her freedom while she does nothing. And she can't do that anymore, so she'll fight back in whatever way she can from now on. That's her sticking up for her duty, even, as Odo points out, it's not very wise to risk triggering a crackdown. She has to do what's right, even if it's not smart. We soon see the third leading his men across the open valley right into the ambush, but Cisco chooses to parley, offering a chance to surrender, after which they'll be sedated and then put into stasis until supplies of the white can be secured. The third refuses, even knowing that he and his men were betrayed. One interpretation of this is that they were just too indoctrinated to think otherwise, but another, the one that ties in with that thread, is that it is his duty to serve, even if Kevin doesn't deserve it.
He does not have to earn my loyalty, Captain. He has had it from the moment I was conceived. I am a Jem'hadar. He is a Vorta. It is the order of things.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Do you really want to give up your life for the order of things?
It is not my life to give up, Captain. And it never was.
Like Kira, the third knows what he needs to do, knows what is right, even if it's not smart. He rallies his men and charges into certain death. The sight of Kevin, then, wandering unconcernedly through the remnants of his men, causes Cisco to raise his weapon, and for a moment we're left wondering if he's going to just shoot down the despicable Vorta. But even as the smiling Kevin comments that it was just a couple vials of white difference that kept the situation from winding up the other way around, he lowers it, and the Jem'hadar are buried as worthy adversaries. "I brought the communicator, yar!" Post-episode follow-up. The annoying character goes to Kevin. Certainly it was bad, but what pushed him into annoying was his little head lolling while he was walking, like some kind of zombie trying to walk a tightrope. Don't worry, he'll get his in the end. Final score for Roxanne Shoals is 9 out of 10, arguably one of the parts least necessary for the Dominion War arc. Kira could have moved in this direction at the start of the next episode simply because of hatred for the Cardassians and Dominion, and the crew could have fixed their drive and gotten home without incident. And yet, despite being the least necessary, it's probably the strongest. There's a couple little shout-outs to classic films, like the crash landing in the Planet of the Apes, or the elevator scene in Silence of the Lambs. Phil Morris had so much to carry, needing to make this character who is on the bad guy's side seem like a good man going to a tragic end, but he more than manages it. We may not agree with his motives, but we can understand his reasons, and help show how there's another awful part of war, the fact that very often the people that you have to kill are good people that just happen to be on the wrong side. Next time, we'll take a look at what's going on with Worf in Sons and Daughters.
Nog, did you reroute that damn Gyrodyne?
I'm trying, but the damn thruster array won't take the input.
Try the lateral impulse thrusters and watch your mouth.